Uh, I've been hearing, no, we're not going to be here 4 hours tonight, okay? You got my word on that. To not be here 4 hours tonight, I've given you, if this was my class, and some of you, if you're taking Principles of Management or Business Ethics, AN01, I'm going to be your instructor. So we're going to do tonight what I do in my classes. I give my class one break, and then we try to get out like around 9:15. We're going to try to get out of here earlier than that tonight. That being said, people, you're going to be given an opportunity here in a minute to ask questions. Please, please, please take advantage of asking those questions. You're a lot better off getting some of the information now. I do want you to know that I've instructed all my staff, depending on what type of question you ask, if it's answer specific to you or detail specific to you, I've asked my staff to say to you, well, call me, make an appointment with me, and I'll talk specifically to you, just because some information shouldn't really be shared. But general questions, please feel free to ask them. At this point, I'm going to introduce Carol Lee. She is our receptionist, and she's going to talk to you about some administrative issues that are foundationally important to you. So I'd encourage you to actively listen and even take notes. Carol Lee?
Thank you. I get to be the first one that starts with a new gizmo too. So as you can see, that is a handout. If you'd like to refer to it, it might be a little easier to read. There are going to be some things that you hear over and over again. Guess why? Because they're important, okay? So let's just get started. My phone patter is often, how may I help you? And the reason we say that is because we really truly do want to help you. We are the face at the desk. We're the person on the phone. There's 3 of us, and then Kimberly does it all at Fort Richardson. But our goal is to help you in a friendly way, in a timely way, and in an accurate way. If we don't know the answers, as Marcia said, we will try to send you to the person that can give you those answers. Now, you can contact us by phone, stop by, or give us an email. We also can then shoot those forward to other people as well. And let's just click the clicker and see how it works. I'm going to talk about 2 things, online connections and personal connections. Now, the web page is pretty darn important. The reason we've worked very hard to keep it accurate, and sometimes there are glitches, but we do work very hard to keep it accurate. You'll see the email address on the back of the schedule. You'll see it on the brochures, other things that you'll need to use. There's a lot of things on there. We try to keep it accurate. We try to post schedules and schedule changes. We try to post IT help desk numbers. We try to post all kinds of things, all kinds of links. Get real familiar with it. Bookmark it, make it a favorite. You're going to use it. I also, as I talk about it, I say the big 3. There's 3 big online connections that you need to know about. You're going to get more and more information about that as time goes on, tomorrow in particular. By the way, have that student ID number with you. You might need it tomorrow night, okay? But there are 3. There's student services, which is sometimes called self-service, and that is your e-connection to the university. The students often ask, well, I don't see my final grade for my class. Where is it? It's going to be on student services. Blackboard will have your running grade. Student services will have your final grade, so don't panic, it'll be there. But you're going to be able to update personal information, things like names, addresses. Do you want your check to come to your house? If we have an old address, it'll come back to us first, and then Mikey will have to do a whole lot of work to try to track you down. So go on student services and update that kind of thing. Transcripts is another big issue that we deal with, not only receiving them, but when you're ready for those transcripts to go someplace else. You can print an unofficial copy of your transcript right from the Student Services site. That's unofficial. That means it's not going to be something that you can hand to an employer or another college and say, here's my official transcript. The official transcript order form information is all there on the web page also. You'll be able to see it just no problem, just in the left column there. And that's going to be important. The other thing that's pretty important, and Kathleen will probably talk more about it, and Mike will talk about it, you can do a lot of student services, business and financial aid things on that connection. So do pay attention to that. Blackboard is going to be your e-connection to classes and instructors, okay? You're going to click on that blackboard. You're going to put your student ID number in. You're going to put your password in, which is 3 and 3, your first 3 letters of your first name and the first 3 letters of your last name. You'll do that tomorrow. And then you're going to be able to open up on the class list that class. If for some reason on the left side of that column there is no little things like tools, assignments, lecture notes, exams, quizzes, that kind of thing, there should be a little arrow. Click on that, it should open everything up, okay? Those are the kind of questions that administrative assistants deal with. We are happy to give you those answers. Do not ever hesitate to call us. We want to help you. We want to make things go smoothly, and we'll do our best to do that. Now, the third thing of the big 3 is the Wayland email account. And you are going to be expected to have that activated. You are going to be expected to use it, and that is the way the university will communicate with you. Your instructors will expect you to send your papers through Safe Assignments through that email account and things like that. So the details tomorrow night are going to be important for you to understand. Now, occasionally there are glitches. I get questions about those as well. And one of the things about the web page is when you click on Blackboard, for example, you'll see all kinds of links, help desks, links, numbers, frequently asked questions. In your schedule, you'll see there is you can probably see it from here, but we always try to have those numbers available to you in the schedule so you can refer to them as well as from the web page, okay? So for online connections, we've got Student Services, Blackboard, and your Wayland email account. Like I said, you'll learn more about that tomorrow. Now, student identification number, why is it important? We have a couple of reasons. Part of it's electronic, part of it is just we want to make sure that we're dealing with your records carefully and privately. A student ID number has 9 digits. It's very important that you use all 9 of those digits when you enter them. And the other thing is it's also called, as Marcia said, a Power Campus ID number or a PC ID number. Power Campus is the electronic database that we use. It's what we look at when we register you and things like that. But the other thing is it's a little bit confusing because it's not called a student ID number on any of our literature, so. Oh, maybe not. Thank you. Okay, there we go. We're back to the big 3, okay? I'm sorry. That's why I gave you that handout, okay? I'm not used to doing this digital thing. And there we go. Okay. Now, the other thing that Eddie made sure that he wanted me to mention was that we do have a student ID machine. However, it is a little bit of a time-consuming thing that we'd like to just have it up. We'll take your picture, your ID number will be on that. That will give you a chance to do it. But we don't do that during the first week of registration nor the first week of classes. If you need an ID card, you're going to use it for student discounts. You can use it at the UAA Consortium Library to check out books. And it's going to be the kind of thing that give me a call. I'll have the machine set up. I'm happy to do it. And we'll make sure that we take care. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes to do it, so it's not really a big time consumer. 5 minutes before class starts maybe isn't the best time to plan for that, but you know, we can make it work. So call ahead and we'll make sure it's ready to go. Now on to the personal connections. One of the things that you've seen is that you've heard the names of all the staff members. Oh, sorry. Okay, there we go. Personal connections. I even got pictures. You are the student in the middle of that picture, okay? And the administrative staff, and I am speaking for all of us that I'd mentioned, are here to answer your questions. You've got questions, we hopefully will have answers. If we don't, we will send you to the people that do. And we recommend that you check out the webpage, but a lot of times I like talking person to person. So we want to help you with that. Now this next one is a full one, so refer to your handout please, because we can schedule appointments with academic advisors, and oh, by the way, you're going to hear this at least 3 or 4 times. Sooner is better than later. Craig and Darla, Monique and Tom, they all want to help you. Kimberly and Linda all want to help you as best they can. Give them a little heads up with an email. Leave them a voicemail message. Give them a little time to research your particular situation. Your particular situation is unique to you. Believe me, we try to keep it standardized, but it is going to be pretty particular to you. Kathleen is one person dealing with all of the financial aid questions, all of the VA questions. She cannot always answer things immediately. Have patience and fortitude because we will get you those answers as soon as we can. Mike will handle the business office side of it. You can make credit card payments over the phone or go to student services. And of course, you'll hear from Britt at the bookstore. She'll take care of some answers there for you. Darla is in charge of the test center, but we can make appointments at the front desk for proctored exams. If it's a proctored exam for Wayland class, you do not have to fill out that proctor form. A proctor form that they're putting on the website is if you're taking from, like, say, a Wayland class, and you're going to have it done at the workplace because you're up on the slope, something like that. We've had students that do that, so they can do it that way. Eddie asked me to talk a little bit about registration. You've had successfully completed your first registration, if not more. You know what this form looks like. You'll see that there's a spot for your, thank you. You'll see this is a spot for your student ID number up there in the corner. There is a spot for if you need base access, and that is only if you don't have like a military ID card or access to base, that you would have to fill that part out. We try to keep this up to date, accurate as things change, so you'll notice that your student ID number, of course, is important there. And the other thing I want to talk about is your degree plan, which Craig will talk about in depth, but I don't know how many times I've had questions of, well, I don't know what class to take, and gosh, I couldn't come in the first week of registration, and we understand that. But you can help us help you better, as Cindy said, by having your degree plan with you. That way, we're both looking at the same thing. If we need to talk to the academic advisor, you've already talked to them, you have a pretty good idea. We'll still continue to do that, but we'll help you by having that updated. So bring both with you to registration. We've talked briefly about the course schedule, and that's this lovely number right here. We color-coded by season, okay, so this is fall. And there's a lot of good information packed into this class schedule. It's available to you online on the webpage or in person. On the back side, all 4 sites that we've talked about are there with their hours, their mailing address, in case you are sending transcripts to us, things like that. Again, I pointed out that we have the Blackboard, student services, virtual campus help desk numbers, so keep that in mind. You'll notice that in the front, if you haven't seen it already, we've got keys of how to help when classes meet, what the exceptions are, what does a hybrid class mean, that kind of thing. And don't be surprised, this little date down here, it's kind of important because things do change. You saw the variety of faculty that we had. Sometimes their schedules change, sometimes a situation changes for work for them, and we have to make some adjustments. So bear with us, have patience and fortitude. You might be on Plan C, but you're going to be in classes that will meet your degree plan. And let's see, did I not go there? No, I didn't. Then let's go, the course schedule, also 1 or 2 things I wanted to point out there. You can read that. AN stands for local classes, VC stands for virtual campus classes, and the second digit in the course identifier is the number of credit hours. So this class is 1101, 1 credit hour, 231. Any other class that's a 3 credit hour class, 1302s, those kind of things, 1302, 3 is the credit hour. So that's a good thing to know in case you're figuring out your totals for your VA or your money or anything like that. Now let's go to the next one. It's again a little bit harder to read, but before going to class, get on Blackboard, which you'll do tomorrow night. Check out your class schedule, see if your instructor has made any special announcements. See if there's going to be, a lot of times we might have a Monday night class that meets on a federal holiday. Those are usually going to be hybrid classes on the computer because of the federal holidays closing Fort Richardson and Elmendorf. So pay attention to that because you're going to want to make sure that you get to the first class. Those are a good way to start your college experience carefully. Getting to class, we usually have posted signs with pictures for all locations so that you can know which classroom to go to, where your whether it's going to be Elmendorf, Fort Richardson, the Valley, or here, we'll have all those posted here at Parkside. But then at each individual site, they'll be able to tell you what room number you need to go to. And then, of course, military base access for civilians is kind of important. It is by permission granted. And we have a form here. If anybody needs one tonight, I'm going to send the list over to base tomorrow. Please fill it out and give it to me before you leave, because you have to give me your driver's license, your last four of your social security number, and then I send that list. It gets run by the security forces over there for you to have permission to come on base to go to our classrooms. Cindy and Kimberly told you about where their locations are. So that's another thing to kind of keep track of. Every semester you need to do this for me. And just about done, planning ahead. A lot of people have said this. You can read it. I won't spend much time on it, but do pay attention to things like updating your information. Don't wait too long to talk to advisors, both academic or financial, and pay attention to Blackboard for announcements and things like that. Check the web page for announcements, and by the way, don't worry, be happy. Your degree really is just waiting around the corner. I wanted to say one other thing. My husband retired from the Air Force. We came back here to Anchorage. He took the job as an academic advisor, said, hey, let me practice on your transcript. So I finished my degree here at Wayland too, and I hadn't been in college for over 30 years. So if I can do it, and I even took math, okay? So don't worry about it. Just work hard, and thank you for coming to Wayland. We'll do everything we can to help, okay? Thank you.
A lot of information in a very short period of time. Tomorrow night, when we go actually on the computers, we'll spend a little bit more time with Blackboard and Student Services. It is imperative that you become familiar with these two platforms. You will never get a grade at home. We don't send grades out by the mail. They're all done electronically. And every class, even a brick and mortar class, which means physically you're in a classroom and the instructor's there with you, as opposed to a virtual campus class, which is an academic way of saying an internet class. All our instructors use Blackboard. They will post assignments, they'll post grades there, your running grades to the week, they'll post lecture notes. The good thing about it is when you go into Student Services and Blackboard, there is nothing you can do to mess it up. So don't be afraid. You cannot delete anything that administratively has been put onto it. And our system does go up and down quite a bit, so don't think that you're the one that crashed it. You didn't. It does that all by itself. But get to learn it. Otherwise, you'll find that your time here at Wayland is constantly slightly behind the 8 ball, like you're trying to catch up. And there's no need to, because this is the 21st century in which we live in. Everything is electronically. We're going to personally spend time with you electronically, so you need to get on that, okay? I want to introduce to you Mike Zimmerman, who deals with not only accounting, but drops and refunds. Okay, Mike?
Yeah, my name's Mike. I'm probably the guy you love to hate or hate to love, depending which side of the fence you're on. I also teach management courses as an adjunct, and I've been doing accounting 30 plus years. I retired from the Air Force and working at Wayland, so I don't want to date myself too much there, but you kind of figure it out. This is just kind of general accounting. You know, accounting can get really detailed, and it may not all apply to people, but it's just general information. Normally when you register, payments due at time of registration, or according to the catalog, you can pay by the first day of class. But if you can't pay all your money, you know, I got to pay other bills and all that, you know, we understand. We also offer a 3-payment plan for those that pay out of pocket. A third up front, a third roughly 30 days later, and your last third 30 more days. So generally from the time class starts, about 60 days, give or take, you have to have your payment totally due. Now, if you have other kinds of payments like financial aid, especially military TAs, a lot of employers, we got a lot of employers up here that pay for tuitions. Whatever they don't pay, remember, you're still responsible for that difference. And if it's a little bit, best option is just go ahead and pay that whole difference. Sometimes 3-payment plan, you forget and have to call you or remind you later on, hey, you got to pay because we can't let you register future classes. And so we avoid the stress about payments because you want to concentrate on your learning and everything and studying. You know, if you get all your payments done up front, a lot better. And just some business office things. You know, if you do have prior balances, say I want to register for the winter term coming up, you got to make sure your fall balances are all good to go before we let you register for a next term. So if you're being paid by employer and we don't have the approval yet, yeah, you're gonna have to pay out of pocket, but once that money comes from the employer, eventually we'll give you the money back to you. We won't keep it to go for a party or somewhere or go up to Alyeska or whatever. Eventually what money you give us that you know eventually is gonna be paid by someone else will eventually come back to you. And a lot of that has to do when Kathleen comes up, talks about Chapter 33s for GI bills and the voc rehab and VA type students. But if you do have a hold on your account because of balances, it will keep you from getting transcripts and all kinds of goodies from Wayland down the road. And we've had people 10 years down the road, hey, I can't get a transcript. Remember that balance you had 10 years ago? It will stay with you, believe me. And I'm not the one who finds them. They'll find them down there at Plainview more likely. And refund, hey, I don't like this class, I want to drop. You have to be really careful because it doesn't matter what class, it's the first session, and you'll see these on the drop forms when you fill them out. 1 to 4 days after the class has started, it's a 75% refund. Then 5 to 12 days, it's 25%. So if you come in here 13 days after the first class, not the 3rd week or the 4th week, it's business days, 13 days after, there's no refund. And it's generally for each class drop, it's about a $10 drop fee. Now, if it's medical or military, you know, it's case by case. Sometimes, like for those in the military, hey, we'll go ahead and take care of it. Or otherwise we'll process whatever needs to be done. Still may or may not be a $10 drop. So just because you're dropping a class, if you're being paid by someone else, better check with your third party first. Sometimes they'll go ahead and pay based on exceptions, sometimes they won't. And the best way for payments, if you can, Carol Lee's mentioned a lot, student services. Because if you pay manually, it could take me sometimes 2 weeks. Because I have to handle 500 plus accounts, and believe it or not, we're still accounting, we're half manual and half automated. So if you do it in person, you're more on the manual side and more automated. But if you go on student services, it's posted right away, unless there's a glitch in the system. And I say, hey, there's a hold, it's paid. Now holds we put them on automatic, but they come off manual, so you have to call or let somebody know, hey, my account's paid off, can I get the hold removed? So Wayland's kind of almost there. We're still kind of half manual and half automated, a lot of stuff. But that's basically accounting. Feel free and welcome to Wayland and contact me anytime. And you may see me as an instructor in management classes down the road. Thanks.
The biggest differences we have between Wayland staff and Wayland students usually deals with money. I would encourage you, sometimes Wayland does make mistakes, and sometimes you've made the mistake. I would encourage you to just talk to us, communicate with us. I promise you we will treat you with great, great respect, even when it's your mistake, and I'm going to ask that you treat us with respect when it's our mistake. The whole key to this is to communicate. I promise you we will never make you feel small, and I also promise you, the assistant dean, I will never allow you to make my staff feel small. You know, money is like the number one thing that wrecks all relationships, and we're not going to let it wreck it here at Wayland Baptist University, and we don't do it by communicating. Next, I want to introduce Craig Clayton, who is our head advisor in charge of all our advisors through the Anchorage campus.
Do you have the clicky device? Somebody does.
She didn't use it while she was doing it, so she wants it now.
We are related, though, so if I fail to have the slides go forward, there's a reason. Yeah. Yeah. I also would like to welcome you to Wayland. I see many faces that I've met with you briefly, helping you get started with Wayland. I look forward to continuing to work with you. I'm an academic advisor here at Parkside. I am also the graduation coordinator. So about 12 months to 20 years from now, when you're getting ready to graduate, hopefully closer to the 12 months, I'll be the one that's looking at your degree plan again, making sure that you've filled all the wickets and are ready to make that happen. So I look forward to do that. I always think it's important to have a goal, and if you'll look at that picture up there, picture your face up in that photo, and that is going to be you within a few months, a few years. So let's stay with it, and this is going to be fun. Okay, here we go. This kind of overview of what I'd like to discuss tonight. Some of my slides are busy. If you happen to take my class, I use busy PowerPoint slides. But the key here is the key to having a successful program with us and getting your diploma. Use your academic advisor and use that degree plan. Okay, and that's what I'm going to give it a little more details about. That is your roadmap to success, those two things. Here at Anchorage campus, we have 6 advisors. You've heard from several of them tonight already. Darla is still going to be talking to you about the testing center. We do like for you to kind of stay with your advisor you start with, but we don't restrict you to that. If you're in the area and want to stop by, any of us can help you. But your original advisor is the one that's heard your goals, is going to be working with you, understands your issues, and is going to be hopefully there to help you. The role of the advisor, help you get started with Wayland. We actually build your initial preliminary degree plans. We evaluate your transfer credit that's coming in to see where it's going to fit in your degree program with Wayland. And then we assist you in selecting classes along the way and help you achieve your goals. So we have Tom and Monique out at Elmendorf, Linda out in the Valley, Kimberly's over at Fort Rich, and Darla and I here for the undergraduate program. Okay, permit to enter. Show of hands. Who has received their permit to enter so far? I see a few hands. For those of you who have not, it's probably because we have not received all your official transcripts. Okay? If you are depending on financial aid, you're not sitting here tonight because you have to have your permit to enter before financial aid will be awarded. Many of you are doing the VA program, and we actually allow students to start their first term with us in a conditional status while we wait for all those official transcripts to come in. Right now, I have a queue here at Parkside of over 100 students who have started with us that have not provided all of their official transcripts. The key here is we allow you one term. That's it. You don't sign up for classes for a second term if you don't have your permit to enter. That means us getting all of your official transcripts. Keep checking. Bug that school. Make sure those things get to us. Official has to be in a sealed envelope, or many schools now will send it electronically, but it has to come directly to us. Okay? And the issue is, if we don't have it by the end of your first term, then you won't be signing up for classes the second term. For those of you who are on the VA Chapter 33, that means you probably will not be getting your housing allowance. So some motivation, and that is your responsibility. We are not allowed to request transcripts from you from schools you've attended. That's by federal law. You have to do that for us. Okay, let's see. Degree plans. I'm not going to get into a lot of detail here. Most of you should have a preliminary degree plan, and that is if you provided us unofficial transcripts, okay, we put something together. We will revise that once we get the official transcripts. The difference is in the lower right-hand corner, when you see a registrar's signature, now we're official. And for Wayland, we actually give you 6 years to finish your degree without changing the requirements. So this is a pretty important document. There are some, and it's a very flexible program, but there are some very key requirements, and those are circled up in that upper right corner. I won't go through all of them, but it has to do with upper level hours, junior, senior level classes. You can only have so many, CLEP and Dante's exam credit, those kinds of things. But that's what we, the advisors, are here to help you with, because we want to help you get through this program as quickly as possible without cutting corners, so that the degree means something, but that you're not spending more money and time than you need to graduate with us. That's our goal. As far as graduating with us, GPA, grade point average, you have to have at least a 2.0. Cumulative 2.0 on your Wayland classes to graduate from Wayland. Many of you are going to be shooting for, you've done very successfully in your previous academic career, you want to finish with honors. What Wayland requires is a 3.5, that's a B plus, A minus average on all your cumulative, that's every class that you've taken, plus 3.5 on your Wayland classes. We also need at least 60 hours that are graded, actually ABC grades on them. A lot of our adult students, they get placement credit, where it's just credit, no credit. but we look at the graded hours. So 60 hours, we have some students that maybe will take one more class that they didn't need in order to get to that 60 graded hours so they can get honors. So just something to consider in the future. Last bullet in red, academic probation and suspension. Yes, we are a real university, and yes, we take our academics seriously. Okay, you will be placed on academic probation. Some of you possibly starting with us, depending on what you did at your previous school. Okay, when you're placed on academic probation, that means that you have to maintain a C average, that 2.0 in that next term. If you don't, then you will be placed on academic suspension, which means you have to sit out a term. When you come back from suspension, you have to apply for readmission. If you fail to maintain a C average, then you will be suspended for an entire year. And for those of you that are really interested in that housing allowance, for some of you, that is a long time to go without it. So take your academics seriously. Wayland does. You should as well. It's either your money or your taxpayers' dollars that are paying for this, so take it seriously, okay? Degree plan options. I mentioned this is a very flexible program, Bachelor of Applied Science, Bachelor of Christian Ministry. I'm going to let the academic advisors get into the details with you on this, but suffice it to say, you can add minors, you can change your major, you can get an associate's degree, a lot of things you can do. For classes, we even allow you to take upper level general education classes in place of the freshman level. That can help you for that cumulative upper level hours that you need. So lots of things you can do there. You can also do CLEP and Dante's exams, which Darla's going to talk to you about using our testing center. There are limitations though, because all CLEP exams are all lower level, and if you're using it to replace an upper level requirement, now you have to take an upper level class in its place. So just talk to your advisor, make sure you make the right choice so we don't spin our wheels trying to help you get graduated. Finally, you'd think it's funny at the orientation class to talk about the finish line, but many of you have been pursuing this goal for a while, and you actually are pretty close. For Wayland, you need to take a minimum of 31 credit hours from us to meet our residency requirement and get our name on your diploma. 31 credit hours. Basically, a year or less for several of you to finish your degree here. So you're going to be finishing this orientation and start thinking about applying to graduate. But we do actually have a senior seminar where we don't charge you. And where we tell you about how to apply to graduate and do those kinds of things. We have 2 ceremonies a year. We welcome all of our graduates to participate in those. It really is a fun time. So, okay. Do's and don'ts on your degree plan. I'm going to let you take the time to read through this on your own, but basically, talk to your advisor. You will hear good ideas from fellow students. Don't follow up on them and do them without talking to your advisor first, because just because it worked in their degree plan, it may not work in your degree plan. Remember I told you 6 years? Well, every year the requirements change. So maybe worked for them 2 years ago, doesn't work for you now. So just make sure you talk to your advisor first. Okay, finally, here we go. Degree plan questions, talk to your advisor. Have any questions regarding this course? I think Dr. Rambo and Mr. Campamore will be the ones to direct your questions. If they come to me, I'm going to say, let's see, look on your syllabus and who do you need to talk to. Financial aid questions will be Kathleen, and she's going to be talking to you briefly. And finally, earlier is better than later on all of this. I mentioned your official transcripts, permit to enter. If you think you've ordered them and you don't follow up on it and we haven't received it, you really do need to pursue that and make sure those get to us in time. Finally, upper right, rainbows. If you have any interest in all in what causes those, I know a certain professor that teaches meteorology could probably explain that all to you. That's a shameless plug, isn't it? It is. Yes, I tell you, but it is a meteorology course. So if you need a science, I'm your man. Thank you.
This is the honest to goodness truth. About 15 or so years ago, I got my bachelor's degree from Wayland Baptist University, and I took a meteorology course, and I got an A in it. and I was fishing just a couple of weekends ago with a friend of mine, and I was telling this friend, well, this is what it's going to do, and this is what it's going to do here, and yeah, it's going to rain, but it's not going to last very long, all from that meteorology course I took 15 years ago, and I was not wrong once. So it is interesting what your education does for you. I almost got a headache listening to Craig, trying to count how many times he said, see your who? Advisor, see your 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 advisor. Take a look at each other for just a second. Honestly, just take a look at each other for just a second. If this was statistically the United States of America, and you all represented the United States of America adults, 25 years of age or older, and this was 100% of you that started college, only 1 in every 4 of you would finish it. Statistically in America, only about 25% of adults finish their college education. Most of it is because they listen to everybody except their advisor. You're going to make some great friends, and some of them is going to have the same major that you have. And they're going to tell you, take this class because it worked for me. Like family, they're not always our best resource, okay? So listen, absolutely listen to each other. And then take that information to your, you got it. I want to introduce Kathleen Ton, who, if you do financial aid, be very nice to this lady.
Okay, I'm wearing my warrior hat to exemplify a point to you all. In my work that I do, I deal with bureaucracy. I deal with governmental bureaucracy. And so I engage warfare with the Department of Education, the Department of Veterans Affairs, and university bureaucracy. And to assist me to be successful in helping you, I need your help, quite frankly. And I'll tell you how I need your help. I need you to take your responsibility in obtaining financial aid or veterans benefits seriously. Never assume anything. 1, if you're going to go after financial aid and you make the decision that you're going to try to get grants or loans or scholarships, you have responsibilities. You have the responsibility to know that if you take out loans, you're going to have to pay them back according to the government. Even if you file bankruptcy, you will have to pay back federal student loans. So assess your need for them carefully and wisely. You're going to have to complete a FAFSA if you want federal aid, and that should be done as soon as you complete your taxes. Every single year that you are going after your degree. You have to reapply every single year. You don't wait until 1 week before the fall semester begins. You begin that process as soon as you get your taxes done. The reason is because there's more federal aid for grants at the beginning of the year than at the tail end of the year, and you want to be successful, and I want you to be successful. And for me to be successful in my job, I need your help. So you get your FAFSA done. But that's not the first and the end all of going after financial aid. You may very well have to supply documentation to me that entails a lot of private information in your life. But that is because the Department of Education will select certain applications for federal aid through your FAFSA for review. And when the Department of Education says, Wayland, verify, that means I'm going to say, student, I need this, child support, divorce decree, tax records, and a lot of other things to confirm that what has been told on the Department of Education's FAFSA is true and correct. Now, when I sit down with you, I'm going to be as cordial and as prayerful and as wise as I can be, because it's not always easy, and circumstances in life can be very downright challenging. And quite honestly, it can be very hard. So I applaud you, first of all, for going after your degree, because it takes courage. It takes real courage to go after a degree. And it takes a lot of delayed gratification and sacrifice on the part of you and your families and those people who care and love you very much. But I want you to know the financial aid of a university is the strong arm of the university. And financial aid, whether that is the umbrella over Veterans Affairs, tuition assistance through employers, state voc rehab, scholarships, whatever the case is, financial aid touches every aspect of the university. And it is truly the strong arm that will make or break you. So, pay very close attention to what I'm saying, and if you don't see me wearing this hat tomorrow, physically, it's still on my head. And I engage in warfare with these bureaucracies on your behalf because I want you to succeed. I want you to obtain your degree. I want you to go out and make a difference in this world for Christ. And I want to be proud of you. Now, that's financial aid. I have included in your little packets here information you can review. You can read through this, and I'll tell you what, I've already submitted my questions to Dr. Rambo for your exam. I'm not going to tell you the answers because I truly want you to read this information. Now, some of you in here may never, ever deal with financial aid, and I thank you for that. But if you have to, you read this information and you look it over and carefully read it, because one of the rules of engagement with warfare with bureaucracy is there's no room for creativity. You know, I don't like being constrained to this microphone. I'm the type of person to walk. But that's the same thing with bureaucracy. You are limited and confined by the regulations of the government, by the university. And so therefore, we have rules we are bound to, and there's no navigating either side of those rules. So if I tell you I need something from you, it's because I need it to help you. If I send you an email, my expectation is you're going to have your email set up and you're going to read my email. Because aside from the fact that I want to bless you with prayers and kisses and hugs, what I'm sending you is directions, and I expect you to follow them, to read the email, to read what I need, and get it to me as soon as possible, because then I can help you get further along faster. So email is very critical, and as Carol Lee stated, get your email accounts set up. You can have them deferred to your private emails. If I send you a phone call, which is not my norm, it's usually through email, it's because I'm expecting you're going to respond. If you don't hear from me, it's typically because I don't have something to say. But if I am sending you something, it's because there's a demand being placed on your time and attention. So read these packets. And I also included in here some of the websites, like the FAFSA website. If you have to go there, the homepage, so look at it. There's also free workshops for completing your FAFSAs that don't charge you, and Kathleen, speak right. They're linked up with UAA, but they service all universities. There's also Wayland's Net Partner website. These are websites, if you go after financial aid, you are going to have to peruse, and you're going to have to accomplish a purpose there. There's also the government's website for studentloans.gov, because if you take out loans, your lender's the Department of Education, okay? Now, I'm going to switch over to Veterans Affairs. There are many Chapter 33 recipients that are attending this school, and they have incredible benefits. And you have earned those benefits because of what you've done for this country and what you did to serve your country. And I thank you for that. But in the process of your Veterans Affairs, there's things I need you to do. I will not certify your course attendance without a certificate of eligibility. And I'm going to just jump back to financial aid for a moment, because Craig already addressed the permit to enter letter. You will not get financial aid awarded to you until that permit to enter letter is created by the registrar's office. It's against federal law. As much as I might want to tell you you got financial aid, it's not going to happen without that permit to enter letter. And as much as I'd love to certify your course attendance, it's not going to happen without that certificate of eligibility, because I get audited. I get audited by the university's financial aid department, I get audited by the Federal Veterans Affairs Office, and I get audited by the state approving agency with the federal government, or with the state of Alaska. So I take my job very seriously, and there are some set boundaries that I will not cross. So remember, never assume, follow up, and be on target, because one of the elements of getting a college education is the aspect of learning how to think and how to take responsibility for your actions, and then go out and make a difference with what you've learned. Okay, so with Veterans Affairs, there's many chapters involved in VA benefits. Chapter 30, 1606, Chapter 35, Voc Rehab, Chapter 33. One of the critical things you need to always remember, any of you who have these benefits, once you register for school and you sign up for your courses, you make sure you send me an email and request that I certify you, and then you watch for my reply. If you don't see my little smiley face come jetting into your inbox, you send another one, because it may have gone to our filter as inappropriate material, or it may have been missed by my eagle eyes. But the point is that you send me that email, and also if you take an online course, you need to complete what's called a VA parent letter for your virtual coursework. You will not get your virtual coursework certified unless that's accomplished. So those are critical things, and I'm happy to meet with you, and quite honestly, there's quite a few of you because I stretch across many territories with students. I love to see you because then I start to remember your faces more, and I get to pray with you and I get to talk with you. But email is going to be my primary method of communication. If you call me and I've already met with you, you're likely going to get a rebound email, because that's my tracking system. That's how I retain the information on what I've discussed with you all. So read this information and know that if you're going to entertain financial aid, serious repercussions. It can be your best friend or your worst enemy. Veterans Affairs, we are dealing with a huge governmental bureaucracy. Pray for your government. You've been blessed of the Lord if you've got those benefits. And if you have more questions, you need to schedule an appointment with me, because I could go on for hours about these bureaucracies, but I've extrapolated it down to the most critical things: prayer, faith, and follow-up, and never assume. And God bless you.
When Kathleen first came to us about 6 or so years ago, she was very shy and soft-spoken. But we hired her as our financial aid advisor. That's all that she's been doing for Wayland Baptist University, and I promise you this: you want her on your side. Financial aid, over 75% of it is government-based. And what she hears all the time on your behalf is, "I'm from the government. I'm here to help you. Trust me." And we all know that our government tries, but falls quite short, especially when it comes to money. So please communicate with her. You will find her to be one of the most loving, prayerful, and actually in her office, soft-spoken people that you'll ever meet. But she is passionate about protecting you and your financial aid and protecting your university, because Wayland can also get in trouble if you as a student, as a Wayland student, are not paying back your financial aid. We are a regionally accredited university. That's very good for you. That means you get to build on your education here with a master's, a doctorate, or a professional. You cannot do that with a nationally accredited university. Part of that accreditation is how our students handle their financial aid. So she is your best advocate, but she does in fact need your help. I'd like to introduce Darla Waller, who is in charge of our testing lab here at Parkside. Darla?
Oh, great.
That button will advance it.
Thanks. Well, my presentation's not so forceful. It's really a choice if you want to take Clapper-Dante's exams. Testing Center is here for you and to help you. On your 4-year degree, you can get up to 42 credits. You heard Craig mention that in testing. On your 2-year degree, 21 credits in testing. Be sure, as everybody has said here, check with your advisor. Because it is a test doesn't mean it's going to work on your degree plan. So we have some handy handouts, and I want to be sure that you all know what they are. Testing center. It kind of gives a little idea of what that test is going to be equivalent to here at Wayland. But the equivalency isn't always perfect. You need to be sure you check with your advisor. There's also this little handout as a national testing center. And we are the Jaybird National Testing Center for all of Anchorage here. For those of you who are not military, that doesn't mean a lot. But for military people, it means a lot because your testing is paid for by the military for CLEPs and Dantes. I also do other tests here at Wayland besides CLEPs and Dantes. We have tests that are through Pearson VUE, like the GMAT. There's Excelsior tests. They're all online and electronic. We have AccuPlacers. Very few people take the AccuPlacer here at this campus. The main campus, they take them fairly often in course placement. Mostly traditional students take AccuPlacer exams, and that's where they'll place you in your course that you need. If you do have to take one, it's not a charge to you on an AccuPlacer exam. Other ones that you will know about if it's something you're taking are criterion tests. The virtual campus tests, normally our front office takes care of that. I can take care of it for you if for some reason everybody's busy doing something. But I don't normally do it, but I'm always glad to help people on the virtual campus. Proctoring for other universities, you will probably not ever use that here, but we do proctor tests for other schools also. You may actually wind up in Washington, and then vice versa works in that kind of a situation. So we schedule tests 24 hours in advance. They are on certain days of the week because I have two hats that I handle as an employee. So we try to test on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and always at the same times, 10:30, 1, and 2:30. The lab takes a while to get set up. It's not an instant thing, so we start work here at 10. Testing starts at 10:30. So we have things that are important to you to keep in mind. The fees. And I've kind of put it out here. In military, there's no charge, but that isn't always true on military. So be sure you understand if it's a retake for you or not on the military. You can get through your degree a little faster. It's like giving yourself a scholarship by using CLEP and Dante's exams. But be sure that you are not overstepping on your degree plan, because you may not be allowed all of that on your degree plan. Advisors are there to let you know, okay, that test will work for you, or no, you need upper levels. There are only a few DSST exams that are upper level, and they don't work in all situations. So I'm not going to go over every test that we have. I keep it kind of simple. The money, once you start taking the test, you'll be aware of the money. It's a blessing to military, but it's also a blessing to those who are not military, is money savings, because a class is normally a little over 600 or more than that if it's an online class. A test is around $100 altogether. So you can save money. Don't think the tests are easy. I've had a few people come in assuming something, and actually left a little disappointed. It wasn't a big expenditure, but you asked time off from your employer, you set up the appointment. So do try to be sure you review before you take an exam. Otherwise, you could be disappointed, be out the money, and out the time to take the test. CLEP tests you can retake in 6 months or 180 days. DSST tests, they're now moving to 90 days on those, but be sure you check. Also, another thing, people wind up a little stressed out near graduation is getting their test results into Wayland. Just because I do test proctoring doesn't mean I have any ability to get transcripts. You need to order the transcripts if they don't automatically get here. So that's something you want to be aware of. I am a proctor for those test companies. I am not part of the test company in any way that they'll let me get into their systems in that sort of sense. So other than that, I'm always happy when people take tests. Taking the test for me is a really wonderful thing. I get to meet everybody when they come into the testing center. It's usually a good thing. People get really happy when they pass their exams, and I don't really have a lot of stress unless the electronic systems go down. And then you see me scrambling. But other than that, we usually have a pretty good time with our testing center. And I'd love to see you take a test. Just be sure and study before you take the test. But anyway, I enjoyed talking with you about testing. You can always call if you need to. I like emails, so if you can, email me a question or email me an appointment. wallerd@wbu.edu is my email. And the reason I say I like emails, it's because I'm not at my desk chair. When I'm testing, I'm running back and forth, and I can't get the phone a lot. And so you'll leave messages, but that doesn't mean I can immediately get back, and it may leave you with frustration, but I love the emails because we can track each other on what we've discussed. Thank you. If you have any questions, I'm always glad to answer them. Just send me an email.
I can't put away my instructor side, so let's have a real quick quiz. When it comes to CLEPing, Dantes, and testing, who should you call? Okay, we're doing really well there. It's great. CLEPing and testing is great. Now, some people who have taken for a long time or took them a long time ago, it has changed. Please make sure that you heard what Darla said. They're not easy anymore. Truthfully, they used to be almost a walk in the park, and that changed about a couple of years ago. They revamped their testing to make it much more stringent, and because universities weren't wanting to accept it anymore. Your advisor can give you a lot of information, as Darla can, about where to go to study for your test, but it's certainly a way, if it works for your personal degree, a way to get to your degree much, much quicker. I wanted to introduce Brittany and to talk a little bit about our bookstore, and hang in there because we're almost done, okay? Brittany, thank you.
Hello, my name is Brittany, and I'm gonna adjust this so you can hear me. And I work at the bookstore, and I go to school here, so we might have class together. So at the bookstore, our hours are 10 to 6 on Monday through Thursday, and 10 to 2:30 on Fridays. And I sell books. Okay. All the classes you take here in Anchorage, at the Valley, Elmendorf, Fort Richardson, I'll have the books here. I can't read this. Okay. When you walk into the bookstore, the books are organized by your course code, not by your instructors, not by the book name, but your course code. So if you know the courses you're taking, you will be able to find the books, but I'm always there to help you. If you're taking classes in the Valley, they have the books there also, so you don't have to drive here and get your books. You can pick them up there. And if you want to know what books you need, the book lists are on the WBU website at the front desk with Carolee and in the bookstore, and they're color-coded along with the schedule. So look at the same color as the schedule and you'll find your books. Look at this if you want your books. WBUanchorage.rentsbooks.com is our new online rental site, and I'll talk more about that later. We just started that this term, so it's also new to me. So if you guys want to rent books for a period of time, you can check that site out. If you're taking a virtual campus class, you need to get your books through the virtual campus website, which is bookstore.wbu.edu. I don't carry virtual campus books, but sometimes the classes we have here will have the same books, so you can get them here, but that is very rare. So if you, as soon as you register, go online and get your books, because it takes about 10 days to get to your house. Unless you're voc rehab or financial aid, then you come to me and I will talk to them and we'll work that out. You can choose to order books from elsewhere. However, on all your syllabi, it is going to state the textbook policy, basically saying you have to have the correct textbook, whether you get it online from me, but you have to have it, the correct one. And if you want to return a book, you need your receipt. I cannot return a book without a receipt, and it has to be within 15 days after the purchase. So if you want to buy it closer to the time the class starts, then you still have 15 days from your receipt. If you buy your book 15 days before the class starts, I can't return it afterwards. If you drop your class, come to me and we'll work stuff out so I can return that book for you. Buybacks. We have buybacks at the end of every term for 2 weeks. 1 week is always going to be dead week, and it could be the week before, it could be the week after. It kind of depends on how everybody's schedule is. And some things that determine the books being bought back are whether or not we're still using it. If we're not using it, we can't sell it, so I usually can't buy them back. But I do buy back for another company called Budget Text, and they'll buy books back. They usually do about 20% of the book, what it's worth, so it's better if we buy them back for ourselves. If it's in the current edition, publishers update at least every other year, if not every year. So it gets kind of crazy with that. The condition of the book, make sure it's in good condition, otherwise a student's not going to buy it, so I probably won't buy it either. Enrollment numbers, I can't buy 50 books if there's only 25 in the class, so come early to get your books bought back. And this next slide is the rental site. This is what it's going to look like when you first log on to it. Again, it's WBUanchoragerentsbooks.com. Do not put www in front of it because it won't work. Anyways, you'll put search by ISBN. You can do title, but you're going to have every book with that title, and you could do author, but again, you'll have many, many options. So ISBN would be the best. So I searched for the Bible because you guys are all going to need this book for religion 1301 and 1302, and you can see the options on this computer screen. You have 30 days, 45, 60, and 90, and there's different prices. It's free shipping if you do the 5 to 7 day one, and then you can add, you can expedite it for a little more. And I played with it today, and it doesn't work for Internet Explorer very well. So you need Firefox or something else. I don't know. I tried it though. Okay, this is your virtual campus website. You're going to click there to get your books. And then you have to click here to continue to make sure that you know what you're doing. And then you have to search by, I can't read that. Courses. You're probably going to do virtual campus. You can sometimes get the Anchorage books from there, but sometimes you can't. Right now you can't. So you're going to click virtual campus because that's for your virtual campus classes. Right there. And then you'll search by course, code, and your instructor. And then it's going to have books below there. Let's go back. The first one is a jump book. It's an ebook that they will send you a code in your email. You can't order both of these. They're only going to send you the hardback if you order both of them. So you have a choice between an ebook and or a real book on most books. Some books don't, like the Bible, won't have an ebook. So that's that. And we also have merchandise in the bookstore, so come get some merchandise. We have sweatshirts, sweatpants, t-shirts. We have graduation frames. I think we have 4 different ones that you could choose from. And then we have other ones that I can order for you. And Jostens rings. Talk to me about that if you want to know more about that. And here's some merchandise that we have. And questions.
We don't set the prices of textbooks here at the Anchorage campus. Let's get something out of the way right now. I think it's ridiculous. I think the price of the textbook that you have to buy for the class I teach is criminal. That being said, for us to maintain our regional accreditation, every student has to have a textbook when they come to class. So because of that, Brittany looked into it and we started this textbook rental, and hopefully that will work because our students were rightfully so upset over the prices. We started back the buyback program, and that has actually worked quite well. No, you do really get a fraction for what you paid for it, but at least you get something. Understand, for us to remain accredited, regionally accredited, we're required to use the most updated edition of the textbook for the curriculum in which we teach. It didn't take publishers very long to realize this is a scam, and if we'll just update the edition with new pictures and new cases, every university who's regionally accredited must buy those books. And the universities as a whole are trying to fight this back, but it's a losing battle because they have more money than the universities do. Talk to Brittany. We'll do the very best we can to help you get the cheapest books that are out there, whether they're from us, from rental, or from a third source. But you do need to have one, and you need to have it in your hand the first day you walk into class. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
Can those ebooks be on an e-reader?
Yes, ma'am, they sure can. Like a Kindle or any of those, yes, ma'am. Some textbooks are available and some are not. And again, we don't get a say on that. Yes, sir?
Are the instructors required to teach out of the latest edition of whatever book it is? Sounds like a crazy question.
No, sir. No, sir. As an instructor, I can answer that question. Absolutely yes. Now turn off the volume for a second. No, I'm just kidding. Absolutely yes. And then what I do as an instructor is if a student come back to me and say, hey, listen, I got last year's edition. Can I use it? I'll ask to look at it, and I will tell them, look them right in the eye and say, you are responsible for the information in the newest edition. If you can do it with this and pay attention to my blackboard and my lecture notes, I have no problem with you using last year's edition.
All my problem was the instructor teaching out of the 5th edition and we're on the 8th edition.
Yeah. If that happens, please see me because an instructor should be using at least the edition that's required by the class. We're giving some of our instructors leeway on letting students use a prior edition. If the information's the same, but the pictures have been changed, we give them some leeway, but our instructors should be teaching from the book that's required for the class, the newest edition. So please let me know. Okay?
It's free online. Take my class.
Okay, I want to talk to you a little bit about your school, about Wayland Baptist University. We have some community projects that we are involved in. Listen, I got my bachelor's degree at the age of 43. I had finished a career with the Anchorage Police Department because I planned ahead. I was very, very smart. I went to college right out of high school, went through my junior year, then life happened, and then started a law enforcement career, and 20 years later, when I was done, then I got my bachelor's degree in criminal justice. Yeah, right, okay, whatever. And I have kids, and I did it with kids, so I understand for most of our students at school, that's why Wayland is so good at what we do. Our classes usually are at nighttime, and you've worked all day long. But that being said, part of our strength is that it's not just academics. We want to prepare you for service to, what did the mission statement say? For service for who? To God and humankind. To do that, we got to be involved in stuff other than just our academics when we go to class at night. We encourage you to volunteer in what is important to you. But please volunteer. And when you do volunteer, I'd encourage you to go to the bookstore and bought some kind of Wayland t-shirt or sweatshirt and wear that puppy so that people can identify you as a university student, you as a Wayland Baptist University Anchorage Campus University student, and one who cares enough about the community to volunteer. Now, our school itself, we have adopted the sidewalk, the west side sidewalk of Muldoon from DeBar to 36th Avenue, and twice a year, our school goes out and cleans the trash off that sidewalk. And we invite our students, our staff, our faculty. Usually takes us about 45 minutes because we have 60 or 70 students and faculty that have come out to do it. And in the last couple of years, it's been nice because you as a student have been bringing your spouse and your children and getting them involved also. And every single year in just that little area, and I'm talking about strictly the sidewalk, the paved sidewalk, we will gather over 1,200, 1,400 pounds of trash just from the sidewalk. And it makes a difference to our community. So you'll see that being advertised, and I would encourage you to do it. It's always on a Saturday morning. And again, it usually lasts just 45 minutes. And it is important for the community to realize that we as a school do care about our community and want to give back to them. Also, Wayland Baptist University, I told you we're regionally accredited. We are a university, we're not a Bible college. We are a Christian university. I'm not ashamed of that either. I am a Christian. But we are regionally accredited. Because we are faith-based, we are private, we are faith-based, we have twice a year what we call Spiritual Emphasis Week. And during that week, the first one we're going to have will be during winter term, for this new year, during winter term. We'll have Monday through Thursday here at Parkside, where every class will stop for about 40 minutes, and everyone comes up here, and there's a program put on that just deals with different things about spiritual emphasis. Offering plate will not be passed. There's not going to be any preaching. It's usually about Christians in the workplace, Christians in volunteering, Christians in where we practice our faith base along with our academics, and we do that twice a year. We also have a women's Bible study every Saturday here at Parkside. Is Dawn still here? I saw her walk out. Dawn is usually the leader of that Bible study, and it's been very successful. And then we have a student chapter of human resource management that I would encourage all of you to join, regardless of whether you're in business administration or human services. And I'm going to have someone coming up here and talk about that in just a minute, but I want to show you what you as students do for community service by volunteering through Wayland Baptist University. And I'm hoping that when you see this, you'll say, I saw you guys on TV when you did this. We did what was called a Great Alaska Iditarod Drive. And I'll give you just a few seconds to read this part, and then this only could last about 2 minutes and a few seconds. But it was a huge success. It actually blew us away. I would like to tell you we are so good at what we do that we're never surprised. But I was just pleasantly surprised at the outpouring of the community toward this drive. Even the mayor got behind this when he found out about it, and our students got behind this, and it made such a difference in our city. We're going to be doing this exact same drive this year, so you'll see more of it.
Yeah. Family, y'all. Just keep it tight, keep it tight, keep it tight. Yeah. Here we go. That's right.
We are family.
We are brothers and my sisters with me. Brothers, my sisters.
We
hope you recognize the picture of Craig Clayton while we were loading the sleds right out here with his hat on and his coat. And I should have known, and me in my little sweatshirt, my whaling sweatshirt, I should have known when the meteorologist showed up on a sunny day with all that on that there's something up. It was 10 below zero that day. It was a beautiful day, but it was 10 below zero. And truly, we had so much fun. And you, our students, had so much fun bringing in these rolls of toilet paper. Some brought in one roll, some brought in a whole cases of toilet paper. And when we turned it over to Beans, it allowed them to be able to have toilet paper for the people who go to Beans for 2 months. Without it, for 2 months, there would be no toilet paper. You had a question, sir? What is Beans? Beans Cafe. It is a place that feeds the homeless in Anchorage. Now, a lot of people who have lived here forever and ever and ever, and I've lived in Anchorage since 1964, look at Beans Cafe and Brother Francis Shelter as a place for winos and drunks and drug addicts and prostitutes and, you know, the scum of the earth. You know, even if that was true, so what? Doesn't everyone have a right to live somewhere? But the reality is that 80% of the people that go to Beans Cafe and for food, and 80% of the people that sleep at Brother Francis Shelter are the working poor. They don't make enough money to pay for an apartment. They're the working poor. Now, I'm saying this half jokingly, okay? And I think my boss is here, so he'll talk to me tomorrow about saying this. Virtually everybody who works for Wayland fits in that mostly poor. So I can relate with, you know, being 1 or 2 paychecks away from not being able to afford my apartment or my house. And so this was a big community service that just the students of Wayland got behind. We got a lot of publicity. We didn't seek any of it out, but we got a lot of publicity from the news media, from television, from the mayor's office, just because of a community service. I want to share with you another one. When you come into our building here and you look off toward the north, there's a banner over that wall that says, Wayland chooses respect. And that was another community service that we did. I'd like to share that one with you.
Feeling broken, barely holding on, but there's still something so strong somewhere inside me, and I am down, but I'll get up again. Don't count me out just yet. I've been brought down to my knees, and I've been pushed way past the point of breaking, but I can't take it. I'll be back on my feet. This is far from over. You haven't seen the last of me. You haven't seen the last of me. They can say that I won't stay around, but I'm gonna stand my ground. You're not gonna stop me. You don't know me, you don't know who I am. Don't count me out so fast. I've been brought down to my knees, and I've been pushed
No, it's not important who, not important what gender. But one of those people holding that banner and marching with that banner, one of our staff members, is a domestic violence survivor. See, we are you. We are you. And we're our community. So, while you're with Waylon, we are going to motivate you to be involved in community projects as we are involved in community projects. Yes, I know it's not easy. I know you don't have a lot of time. I know you have a family. But I also know this, only 25% of the adults in the nation will ever get what you do, and what you get, if it's not to serve others, it's not worth getting. So please, when you see us posting signs about community projects, make the time. Because if you don't make the time, there will be no time. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Bonnie Dorman. She's been the president of our student chapter of Human Resource Management for this last year and was responsible for many of these community service projects. And she was introduced to you earlier as one of our new adjuncts starting in winter term. Bonnie?
I am actually very, very happy to be talking with you. I'm a Twice alumni and very, very excited about it. You saw the success of the Greater Alaska Iditarod, but one of our greatest success is serving you as a student. And that's what this Society for Human Resource Management student chapter is designed to do. So if you haven't gotten the handout and what we're going to be doing in 2012 or what you're going to be doing in 2012, please take a look at this, because it's extremely important for you to understand some of the activities that are going to go on. Each and every one of you can take part in. So I would like to start off by telling you that for the first time ever, we have received a national award. Yes, this university of approximately 500 enrollment per term, we received a national award, and it's the Superior Merit Award. And as I talk to you about what we've done over the course since its inception, hopefully you'll understand how important this is. And getting involved, I was one of the very first people who did not want to get involved, and I've been here since its inception in 2007. When Dr. Rambo came and asked a group of us to get involved in 2006, I didn't have time. I was busy with work, busy with my other extra things that I was doing, and I didn't want to get involved. Plus, I'm thinking Society for Human Resource Management, I'm a budget analyst. Thinking, whatever. Well, I decided to take the challenge, and a core group of us started it, and we all stayed with it until we graduated, because there were so many benefits in so many ways. So I want to share that with you so that you understand why we won this national award. First, I want to start off with some of the benefits. If you get a chance to take a look at this SHRM membership, this is the national SHRM if you are a member. If you are able to become a member, and what is required to become a member are 2 classes when you sign up. Doesn't mean that you have to do it the whole year, just when you sign up. And those 2 classes will get you so many benefits, and it's right here. When you sign up for the National SHRM, you can be a part of the local Anchorage Society for Human Resource Management SHRM for free, and I will tell you a little bit more about that. If you look at this brochure here, as a student going back to school, I will tell you that as a budget analyst and going through all of my management courses, I have learned so much in being a manager in an organization. And each and every one of you are going to touch one of the 6 areas of the body of knowledge in HR. And HR has strategic management, workforce planning and employment, that's where you're doing job designs. Human resource development, that's where you're doing development of your organization and people. You have employee labor and relations, it's where you're going to be managing people and dealing with labor and unions and management together. You have risk management, we're all dealing with that in our organizations. And you have total rewards. Total rewards is formerly compensations and benefits. So each one of us is going to touch that as managers, and as adult students going back and getting our degree, you're definitely going to hit these areas. So it is not specific to HR. And I'll tell you my story is I am on the local Anchorage Board. I am the foundation director. I have received so many benefits in networking. Networking is going to be critical for you. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be an HR person. Networking and understanding the concept of networking, if you don't do it in the HR arena, you can do it in your own arena. I can do it in my finance arena, and I do that. I'm American Society for Military Comptrollers. Another affiliation with the local ASHRM is the luncheons. They do monthly luncheons where they have professional topics. We get a reduced lunch when we go there, so we only pay $10 for a meal, and it's every third Tuesday, and that's at the Crown Plaza. So if you're having an opportunity, please go there. This August 23rd, the Wayland Baptists will be honored for the award that we have received. We also have a student who got the Robert Denemy Leadership Award, and she will be getting that. So we got back-to-back year to year, and that hasn't happened. So we're real excited about that. So a lot has happened for us here. Let's see. And when we talk about our activities here at WBU, our motto is to learn, lead, and live in the light. And we do that through our mission. And our mission is to advance your knowledge, skills, and abilities of our student body. And we do that through providing education. Our education is where we have our monthly meetings every Saturday, and there's a professional topic. We'll have Dr. Rambo who's going to present, or we'll have someone downtown from the human resource management, or we'll get a professional in on a topic that we want. Last year, we had our theme was linking HR and managers through training and development. And so we all can relate to that. And as you start to pursue your degree, you're going to realize how important these topics are going to be to you in an organization. And this year's theme that's going to be is leading change. And as you pursue your degree and you go into management, you're going to be leading change. So please take advantage of that. We're looking at some of our goals here. We do fundraisers. These fundraisers provide a lot back to you. So when you see us out in the hallway selling hot dogs or chili dogs, you're going to be doing different activities this year. That money's coming back to you. We give 3 scholarships a year. Last year we gave 4. So it's not specific to just HR. Please know that. When you see the advertisement for the scholarships, it's for you. And you see the criteria, you don't have to be a member. You don't have to be a member for a WBU scholarship. The local chapter, ASHRM, Anchorage SHRM, they do provide 3 scholarships, but they are for members. If you cannot be a member and you're not taking 2 classes, please don't hesitate to get involved and take advantage of the educational opportunities that we are presenting to you on a monthly basis, the networking that is going to take place with the local chapter, the community. As you can see, a lot of things have happened for us. Mr. Camperhorn was talking about getting involved. I was one who didn't, and I can tell you leaps and bounds. I'm still a budget analyst. I got my MBA in HR because it made sense. It made sense for me because I wanted to know more about being a manager, and you touch every aspect of HR. And don't ever forget that when you get your degree and you go into management, you may walk into the organization and you are the HRM. And so it's very, very important. Take a look at I highly recommend you take a look at this because as you start to do your school papers, this is a scholarly review, and you're going to hear that over and over and over again for your references. This here will touch every aspect of your management classes, so please take advantage of that. It's there for you. Make sure I didn't forget anything. Nope, the memberships. Didn't forget anything at all. So do we have any questions on getting involved or about the organization itself? No? It's $35. And I will tell you that there's a big difference in what I've got to pay this time. My membership is due and I got to pay $180 because I'm not a student anymore. So for $35, you cannot beat a place where you can go and get references because you're not going to be able to get them without being a member. So if you can, please join. I will tell you, it's definitely going to benefit you. And again, if you don't meet that requirement, please get involved. Get involved, come to the Saturday meetings, and learn something. It's really, really I have grown so much. Say again?
Ma'am, I was just saying to him that when it's time for you to get out, going to these meetings like this, I was told in my past class that this is a really good reference to go to for
Absolutely. And just today, I was talking to an individual. He was an officer who just went to their TAP seminar. I was supposed to be at his TAP seminar with another HR counterpart from downtown because they are coming on base so that they can help transition the military into society and helping them with their resumes and getting out the military jargon. And I looked at him and I said, I was supposed to be there at that event, but I had something else going on. I was doing a project at work. So he said, I learned a whole lot, and I felt like, you know, they wanted me to come back and come to them and ask questions. And just the other day, Carol Lee got a phone call from an individual who had heard me speak at one of our Saturday morning meetings, and he wanted me to help him with his resume. Well, I finally talked with him today, and he said, ma'am, I submitted it, but I think I need help. And I said, well, if I don't have the answer, I know where I can go because I have a lot of resources. And we do. I mean, we're connected to the people who hire and fire in town. And it doesn't get any greater than that. We put on the Anchorage SHRM put on a job, Get the Job Done seminar. They put that on for the local community because of the crisis that was going on. They have the same passion for giving back to their community that we do here at WBU, and it was really awesome. It was an opportunity to see people coming in from the Alcom building. We had a poor bird colonel that showed up, and he walked in, and he didn't expect me to be there. And I was so excited because, you know what, this is real. The connection and the networking is real. So please feel free to contact us here at the university. We still have a lot of people that are staying on board just so we can help the new leadership transition. But we'd like for you to be a part of that leadership and do what you can. Do what you can. Some can volunteer more time than others, but do what you can. But find a benefit in it because there is benefit for each and every one of us. And to let you know that a lot of our members last year weren't HRM majors. So they saw a lot of benefit in it. So feel free to contact us and wish you all the best of luck, because I've been there.
Of course, I teach for the School of Business, so I feel like I'm a little qualified to say this. You want to not rely on luck? Get involved in SHRM. If you have anything to do with business, any aspect of business, regardless whether it's human resource management or not, get involved in SHRM. If you're never going to be a manager, get involved in SHRM as an employee, so that way you know what your rights are. And if you're ever going to supervise anybody in any field, get involved in SHRM because the courts are going to hold you legally responsible for the decisions you make as a manager. So there's no downside to it. I'm not affiliated with our student chapter SHRM other than I motivate my class to go there and I go to the meetings. But I am very proud to say that while our chapter has only been around for 5 or 6 years, for 5 years, just 5 years, we won a national award. This chapter won a national award after just being around for 5 years. And for the last 2 years in a row, one of our officers from our student chapter SHRM won the leadership award among the entire West Coast of the United States, all SHRM chapters. And that's never been done before, where the same school wins it 2 years in a row. So they have set a great foundation. Please take advantage of it by getting involved in the student chapter of SHRM here. I'd like to turn everything back over to Dr. Rambo. And I'm one of the instructors here, so we'll be spending the next 11 weeks communicating with each other. Welcome to Wayland. I mean that with all my heart. And together, you're going to be surprised how much further we'll both go. Thank you.
All right, you're all still awake. That's a good sign. We come to probably the second best part of this class, which is we're coming to the end of this one. The next best will be when we have the next session. A couple things.